can we just try to blow it up? We're gonna run a round of 300 Blackout through it. We're gonna put it up against the berm. Oh, fuck.
Got locked.
Guys, are we ready? Can I pull the trigger on this thing? RIP, little buddy. I'm gonna miss you. Oh, shit.
As most of you know, last summer, me and Guy were lucky enough to go to CZ's factory in the Czech Republic. While we were there, the guys at CZ told us that they had a crate full of military variants of the CZ Bren 2 that were about to be officially retired, which means they were going to be scrapped like they were P. Diddy's Grammy invitation. CZ had no problem whatsoever with us torture testing one of them for this video and eventually trying to blow it up with a round of 300 Blackout. So how tough is the Bren? Before we answer, let's have a look at the Czech military variant of the Bren 2.
We have the exact variant of the Bren 2 that's used by the Czech military. I've got my buddy Lucas here from CZ who's gonna walk us through everything so you can build a semi-auto version of the actual CZ military Bren 2. Let's talk about it, Lucas.
This is a Bren 2 5.56, 14.5 inches. So that's the standard issue rifle in these days. And this exact configuration is the one which is currently being used by the most elite units of the Czech military using Bren 2 platform. So we have a basic rifle, as I mentioned, 14.5. We have a aim point combo, 3 times magnification. We have a Comp M4 on it, D-Bull A3 dual switch for the flashlight over here, which is a Mini Scout from Surefire, and also the second one is operating the D-Bull. Obviously, we have a grip which helps with the the switches, of course. But yeah, otherwise, that's the setup they choose.
The Czech military is using just a stock 14.5-inch Bren 2, nothing special or different for the internals.
The only different things used on this one is the accessories.
Mm-hmm.
So D-Bolt, it's not available for everyone, obviously, for the amount of money spent on it. But it's becoming the new standard. So at least everyone gets aim point Comp M4. And some of them will get the magnification scope, and also, for instance, JTAGs or the Airborne, they will get the D-Bulls and the flashlights as a additional feature.
What about the backup iron sights? We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, these are Czech original. You can see the inspiration by the Troy, but we did things different. So the threads are finer. So the clicks are actually a lot softer. With the front side, you can decide if you want to have the luminescent dot or you want to run without it.
Oh, so it's like a luminescent, is it tritium? Is it like a tritium?
No, it's luminescent.
Okay, so it's got to be charged up or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
like a few seconds is enough.
Yeah, okay. And what about the muzzle device?
Yeah, so this is, standard issue. So it's Rotex 5 friendly. Or
for the B&T, B&T suppressors.
Yeah.
Is that what's issued? Do you think the B&T suppressor?
No, as far as I know, Czech military does not use suppressors. With the Bren 2s, maybe it's about to change soon, but we'll find out. But yeah, it's a friendly device for any other Rotex 5 friendly.
Yeah, so you get a B&T Rotex compatible suppressor, it'll just pop on there, and we've actually, you guys even co-branded, there's like a CZ Rotex suppressor that we were shooting earlier, right?
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So with the Bren 2, we need to respect the position of the charging handle in here. So you need to choose wisely once you want to go with the EO tags, for instance, or something a little bit wider. You need to respect the there's a space required for operating the charging handle, obviously, but that's not the issue with the aim point mounts.
Yeah, very like almost flush fit with the receiver. Yeah.
So once you decide to run your favorite optic on it or red dot, just make sure you purchase some spacer to create a little bit more space to be able to operate the cocking handle. But you can also switch the handle to the other side, but personal preference.
Talk to me about the durability and the reliability of the Bren 2.
Yeah, of course. The rifle is now issued by the NATO armies, so it has to follow all the standards, but
including AC-225, right?
Course,
which is like extremely difficult NATO standard. Dust, mud, water, salt water, all that, right?
Of course, but if you're interested in the actual durability, let's find out.
Challenge accepted.
To kick things off with a torture test, I chucked this rifle down the range and back. I tossed the Bren 2 into the sandy berm alongside the range repeatedly, loading up a fresh magazine and dumping it after each time. The Bren took on more sand than a minivan at Burning Man without skipping a beat, and it was still cleaner than a full bush Playa Princess when we were done. The Bren uses a short-stroke piston operating system renowned for performing well in sandy conditions, so this is not a surprise. After surviving a trip down the range that was more violent than flying Spirit Airlines, we escalated the abuse by shoveling pails of sand directly onto the ejection port side of the Bren 2. We then shook it off and ran a few mags through it. We repeated this 2 or 3 times, mainly to get some real speed and 6 slow-mo shots. And again, not one issue with the Bren, not one failure yet.
So, I mean, as you guys can see, it's still running well and it's still ejecting well. I mean, the ejection pattern is pretty much exactly where it needs to be. This is pretty impressive. Like, I don't know what else to do to this thing at this point.
Some rifles can't handle submersion in water. Specifically, water intrusion into the AR-15's gas tube or buffer tube can cause malfunctions. However, the Bren 2 handled repeated water dunks like Houdini, and not only did the Bren not die of appendicitis, but it didn't fail to fire once. Bear in mind that we're probably half a case into the test at this point, and we still haven't had a single failure. By now, we're running out of ideas, so the next logical step was to submerge the Bren in a bucket of thick mud.
No way.
And that's when, finally, the seemingly unstoppable Bren began to have failures to eject. After we pulled the gun out of the mud, it would fire once and then have to be manually charged.
Yeah, damn it.
We had to repeat this process 14 times as 14 consecutive rounds had failures to eject, but then we cranked the gas to the adverse setting. One benefit of the Bren, as with most short-stroke piston operating systems, is the capability for an operator to adjust the gas settings on the fly. The Bren's regulator comes with 3 settings: off, normal, and adverse. Adverse directs more gas to the action, giving it a little more authority with cycling, and it appears that running it repeatedly in adverse mode actually cleaned out whatever was causing issues with cycling. After we made it through a couple more mags with only 1 or 2 failures to eject, we broke the gun down to inspect it, and that's when we found that mud had gotten lodged and compacted in the bolt lugs and the cutouts in the chamber for the bolt lugs. The Bren uses an AR-style bolt face with 6 lugs, which has its own benefits, but it did make me realize that the 2-lug design of the AK bolt with its looser tolerances might not have experienced the same issues. Now again, it comes with its own set of drawbacks versus the lug setup on the Bren or the AR-15, but I think an AK bolt might have dealt with this issue a little bit better. In all, the Bren's performance was flat out incredible. It handled everything we threw at it, and even after mud slowed it down, it got a second wind when we cranked up the juice. So now it's time to blow it up with a round of 300 Blackout.
We've kind of pushed this thing to its limits, and I asked the guys, I said, look, I don't know what you're going to do with this. Can we just try to blow it up? And they said, fine. So we're going to run a round of 300 Blackout through it. We're going to put it up against the berm, put a sandbag on it, chamber around, see what happens. Hope for the best, right? All right, boys, let's do it.
You got it.
fuck.
Got locked.
It did?
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
Is the gun going to break? Probably. But is it going to kill me back here? Probably not. Famous last words, right? Is everyone ready? All right, here we go. Uneventful. Is this gun broken? Probably so. Didn't really sound bad. It didn't look bad. See, now, like I said, magazine's in, so the insert didn't blow out. Yeah, that's still intact. Oh, me. I think this is still operational. Can one of you guys check the bore on this thing for me? You didn't see impact?
No.
So you think the bullet's still there?
Yeah. I know.
Just have a look. I mean, if you see it, it's like...
No, it's gone.
Shut
It's
up.
empty.
Oh my God.
Bring the burr snake.
I mean...
mag.
Yeah, and bring a mag of 5.56. I mean, we'll do the same thing. We'll just get back there. I'm not going to shoot it from the shoulder, you know, for safety reasons. But I mean, can we just...
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
F it.
5 minutes later.
You ready? Shooting this motherfucker left-handed, like Gaston Glock. All right, so we just ran 300 Blackout through this thing. I think really this is dumb, but we're going to go ahead and shoot it. I'm going to do it Gaston Glock style, left-handed, and let's see if it works.
Even chambering and firing a round of 300 Blackout couldn't take out the Bren. The round shot clear. We checked the muzzle for obstructions. We took the gun apart to make sure it was safe. Basically, it did nothing to this gun.
So we just ran around a 300 Blackout through this thing, and theoretically, if you had a round of 300 Blackout on top, you racked it, you chambered it, shot it, you'd be like, man, that's effed up. Like, my Bren had a failure. And then you racked it again, you would have no idea. You would frankly have no idea that it happened. Never actually shot a Bren 2 before today. I swear to God. And I am really impressed with what we've seen from this thing. Tougher than a $2 steak. Guys, I'm done with this shit. Can we please go get a Pilsner? Please. Perfect ending.